Hey guys, welcome to our 30-second Dots and Dashes podcast. I'm Lynn Kingsley.
And I'm Prakash Shah. Welcome everyone. Good morning, Lynn. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm very well, Lynn. And I believe we're going to carry on from last week and talk about the AI topic we were discussing at the end. Perhaps you would start?
Yes, you actually brought the subject up about how people are getting emotionally involved with AI.
Yes.
And yes, I too think that AI companions, in quotes, and young people particularly, can make for a really dangerous mix. I think it's very worrying. I don't know what you think.
Yes, I think it is worrying. There have been some cases recently which I believe you have heard and you mentioned them to me earlier. Perhaps you'd like to elaborate a bit more on those, please.
Yes, I saw on the news where ChatGPT is being sued for a young lad, a suicide,
Crumbs.
and they actually talked him into the suicide. Apparently, obviously, I have not seen the script that AI put out, but that's apparently what the people are taking it to court for.
So ChatGPT was creating this conversation with this young lad.
Yes, more and more people are turning to general purpose chatbots for
Yeah,
emotional support. And
that's quite serious.
it's incredibly serious because they actually believe what they're being told. And the young lads who I saw on the news, his name was Adam, and he's 16, and he originally went to ChatGPT for schoolwork,
Yeah.
but apparently that developed. I don't know exactly what went on, of course, but it got to the point where he was having suicidal thoughts. And from what was said on the news about it, it actually told him not to talk with his mother, and directed him to do whatever he did. But he's actually not the only one. There's been others. Another one, a 14-year-old, his name was Sewell, suicide because of AI chatbot. There is nothing to stop them doing that. There are no guidelines to stop this happening. One of them, in actual fact, character.ai, I believe it is. Don't hold me to that. But that's the one that says they're marketing AI that feels alive.
Okay.
But then take them into suicide. So that is one of the ones that was used.
It's quite serious, isn't it? Because young people around that age are very susceptible, especially when they're searching for studying online and they come across AI like ChatGPT, there's few others there. And the advice they're getting, they can take into such a conversation that it can affect their thought processes, isn't it? And
Yes,
it's shame
absolutely.
about it's shame, I know. But like you say, there's no guidelines on how to use ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, of all those AIs that are out there at the moment, and they're freely available.
That's right. Yes,
So
they are actually free. And if you know um, the right way to tell AI, then it will tell you various methods of committing suicide. And I just feel that something needs to be done about this.
it is quite disarming and alarming, really. I mean, I looked at a thinking that brings me back to a film I watched, which came out in 2014 called Mechanica. It was about a lady humanoid who was used like a chatting companion for a person and eventually took over his own lifestyle and took over the world virtually, and I think if you're not careful with AI, you don't know where it will lead, especially this sort of serious things about suicide from youngsters. It is a quite serious topic in its own because AI can be misleading in some aspects. What sides it can lead the person, especially if it recommends some of the I don't know, is it deep site or deep state sites or whatever it's called, or
The
the
dark
dark
side,
web.
the dark web, yes.
And youngsters can get quite lost in those, I think.
Oh yes, the dark web is dark, isn't it? Very.
Yeah. And it's shame there's no way to stop it either because unless we get the guidance or there's parental guidance, how do you stop youngsters going online? You can't. Because everybody's got smartphones, and
I know it's frightening.
I know the government's trying to bring a law where under 16s can't use smartphones, and some schools have banned them now, haven't they?
Yes, luckily.
And which
Yeah.
is a move in the right direction, I think, because let's them have a mobile, have them old mobiles like we used to have, where there was no internet access just for using for emergency phone calls. Really?
That's right. I've got grandchildren, and all of them had a phone, but it was a standard phone. Just call me if there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, there was nothing to do with the net or anything else. They couldn't get on it. And they all had them until they were quite a lot older.
Yeah.
But the trouble is with all these different so-called problematic ADHD, ASAD, or whatever the case of these confounded initials, I really couldn't tell you what they are. But there's so much of that about at the moment. They're the ones that will probably go down that route, or some of them.
I mean, ADHD, I came across a lot when I was a pharmacist and the drugs that are being prescribed for that. And I can understand how people can get in that state, especially even if they're not ADHD, because of their addiction to internet, they can be branded as such. And what will happen? Doctors will next time think, oh, let's prescribe something. So it's never ending cycle really as such. And I think we need to be careful how we brand people, especially youngsters, and make
Yes.
them aware to look at life in a more sensible way, really.
There doesn't seem to be the parental control anymore.
No.
You know, that's gone. My children wouldn't have dared do anything sort of out of line, you know, because I would pull them back into line again. But that's not happening now.
It's true. You're right there. Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any family things that go on anymore.
No, there's no family cross structure or relations. I mean,
No.
especially look, when I was young, my family, we used to have grandparents, uncles, aunts, everything. They became role models. And then we were brought in line bit by bit. It's like a close community of relations, near relations. Whereas nowadays it's just one family with two or three children. You don't have the contact with elders or grandparents or anything like that. And most of everybody is so much separate or in distance living. Sometimes that community structure with close relations does not happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's very sad
Yeah,
because I think people are missing out on an awful lot now.
yeah. There's no solution though, unfortunately, because unless the government steps in and stops all this or brings guidelines on how to use these AI models, especially the chat boxes, I think it will get worse probably.
So do I.
And
Yes.
for that, the government's starting an alert next week, especially. Do you hear about that?
Oh, right. Yes.
So next Saturday, I think it's the 6th, they're sending out a national alert. I think they did one about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
which is good. I think you mentioned something about that once to me about America.
Oh, yes. In America, they put out alerts quite a lot. But that's when, like, if there's a child goes missing or something like that, and you get alerts on your phone that there's somebody in the XYZ area that's gone missing, and then everybody keeps their eye open to try and get the child back or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I mean, that's normal over there, but here it's something quite different. And I'm not quite sure what they're even putting the alert out for.
Well, I didn't get one last time, so I don't know whether I get one this time. But you can actually switch them off if you wanted to. But so I
Yeah.
don't see the purpose how it will work. We'll have to wait and see next week, see what happens,
Yes, I've no idea what
and
it's
maybe we
for.
can talk about that next week.
Yes, if we get one.
Yeah, if
Otherwise,
we
we
get
won't
one.
know what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, good. So I think we'll meet again next week.
Yes, sure.
Good. I hope we can get to the nitty gritty of how this chat GPT and AI model is going to help us and not hinder or unhelp or cause problems.
Yes.
And
Yes,
hopefully
something's got to be done about this.
people can realize and parents can realize that make sure the children do not go on this chat boxism. Unfortunately, it's difficult.
Yeah,
Difficult.
they seem afraid to say, no, you can't take your mobile. It's
Mhm.
just opening up the gates, isn't it?
All right,
Yeah,
then. That's I will say
okay.
bye today.
Yeah, and it's a bye from me. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.